I can't say what happened. Wasn't there, but that's a tough sell.
Quadir and Nazir Lewis were 19-year-old identical twins from Lawrenceville. According to their family, they had lots of love between one another and lots of life plans, including a trip to Boston scheduled the day before they were found dead. Investigators found them both shot to death at the top of Bell Mountain, nearly 100 miles away from home, with the plane tickets to Boston in their wallets. Tuesday, the GBI arrested a Towns County volunteer firefighter, Scott Curlin, and charged him with misdemeanor obstruction. They say he took a photo of the deadly crime scene and posted it on social media. We knocked on his door in Hiawassee. We saw him, but he wouldn't open the door. We just want to give you a chance to explain your side.
And oh no, don't try to hide now. I told y'all on this channel, we hold racist Caucasian people accountable, because if I took pictures of 2 dead Caucasian teens, it wouldn't be no misdemeanor. It would be a felony charge. Matter of fact, my mugshot would be all over social media. This dude, you couldn't even find his mugshot at first. You had to really search for it. News outlets weren't even posting his face. Make that make sense. And like I said, if it was me, my mugshot will be everywhere, but don't even trip. Let's get into this article, because I want to show y'all it's a pattern with these sundown towns in Georgia. And this article is by the New York Post. It was published March 19, 2025 at 1:14 a.m. So this morning, Georgia firefighter fired for sharing death scene photos of twin brothers on Mountain Peak. A Georgia firefighter was fired and arrested for allegedly taking photos of the gruesome scene where twin 19-year-old brothers were found dead on top of a mountain and sharing them publicly. Scott Curlin, a volunteer firefighter in Towns County, is accused of interfering in the investigation regarding the deaths of Lawrenceville brothers Quadir and Nazir Lewis on March the 8th. The 42-year-old Jitterbug allegedly shared the photos of the Lewis brothers' death scene for the public, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation announced Tuesday. And I told y'all in the other video about this story, in these sundown towns, they talk, they gossip, especially when a murder happens. It's only 1,002 people. Everybody knows what happens. It's literally in their history. I'm going to read it again for y'all. Towns County saw a sharp drop in black residents between 1900 and 1910 and had 0 African Americans within its borders from 1920 to 1940. Oral evidence suggests the county seat of Hiawassee had a reputation for violence against African Americans, particularly after nightfall, aka sundown towns. And see, the news can fool a lot of people, but they can't fool me. This happened March 8th. Fast forward, it's March 19th. They had time to put their stories together. They had time to say, okay, we're going to put you on the news. We're going to put this person on the news to make it seem like, oh, the town don't know what's going on. It's only 1,002 people. They know what's going on. They gossip in these small towns. I'm telling you what I know. But like I always tell y'all, these people are on the same team when it's against our people, the cops, the news outlets, the locals, the restaurants, the DA, the cops, the investigators, the coroner. They all on the same team. I'm telling you, the game is cold. He later bonded out of jail, according to the outlet. Officials did not release any additional details in the case. So you don't see the pattern when it comes to these people. When it comes to their people, they need time to investigate. They not releasing any additional details. But let you or me commit a crime, they releasing all additional details. They got the autopsy. They said the autopsy is finished, but they still need time to investigate. What? Make that make sense. But I've been doing stories about this, and it was a story that happened in Georgia last year. Check this out.
The 25-year-old was in the Navy, currently stationed in Jacksonville, Florida.
He was an aviation ordnanceman. He's responsible for all of the weapon systems.
Devon came home to Atlanta last week. Thursday night, November 7th, he went to Hartsfield-Jackson Airport to rent this Jeep Compass so he could drive back to Jacksonville to get to work the next day. He never showed up, and his family never heard from him again.
We had the picture of him in the car, or the back of the car, leaving the airport, and that's the last that we know.
They filed a missing persons report with Atlanta police and put the word out on social media.
It was 6 days of not knowing.
What the family did not know at the time, Monday, 4 days after Devon left Atlanta, a fisherman in Telfair County, almost 200 miles away, discovered the body of a man on a boat ramp along the Ocmulgee River. The GBI says the man had no ID, no signs of trauma to his body, and they had no idea who he was. 2 days later, the family got a call from the GBI. When Devon's father described Devon's tattoos, it was confirmed the body found along the river was Devon.
He was a Christian, and he had tattoos on both sides of his arms with crosses.
Yeah, and that was what the identification was made off of that.
The rented Jeep he was driving has not been found. According to the police report, Devon called Enterprise Rental Car Saturday morning, saying the car was lost. And that adds to the mystery. The family is trying to make sense of it all, but can't.
And see another healthy young black man leaving the Atlanta airport. What's up with that airport? But I tell my people all the time that's in Georgia, that's in Atlanta. See, the metro area, Atlanta, the city part, is cool. But as soon as you get outside that metro area, Georgia is stuck in the 1940s. I'm telling you, it's racist as hell. And nothing has changed there. The only thing that has changed is the roads and the internet. That's it. They got new internet. They got new roads. That's it. It's still stuck in the 1940s outside of the city of Atlanta. I'm telling you the truth. But I'm going to be honest. They're not going to solve this crime because this is a sundown town in the South. These people is not going to tell you what went on. I covered so many stories like this, and I go back to check for updates. Still nothing. The cops not going to talk because they're in on it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because they're stealing organs. You got to look at all these cases. It's always young, healthy black men. Make that make sense. And don't you find it weird? They said they were shot, right? But they never mentioned what type of gun. They never really even mentioned a gun in the articles. All they said was gunshot wounds. But I'm telling you, this is what they do in these sundown towns. They get you some locals. They get the locals on the news and say, oh, I can't believe this happened. Trust me, it's not the first time they happened. I read it to you. They have a history of this. And if it's only 1,002 people, trust me, they know their history. And again, I'm going to tell you why they won't release that autopsy right now. Like I say, this happened March 8th. And you telling me you can't release the autopsy because you saying the investigation is still going on? I'm going to tell you why they can't release it, because they stole organs out of these young men's bodies, and they have to put their bodies back together and make it look like what they said it was, a gunshot wound. So my people in Georgia, please be careful because it's a lot going on out there. I know people talk about black on black crime, and we have to watch out for that too. We have to watch out for that. But for the most part, watch out for these racist Caucasian people because they are stealing organs now. They doing it in Alabama. I did stories about that. They doing it all across the country. So please pay attention, especially with these airports. Start dropping your people off at the airports. Don't depend on an Uber. Don't let them drive themselves. None of that. Drop your people off so you can make sure they make it there safely, because I did multiple stories of people headed to the airport and they never seen again. So rest in peace to those twins. Man, I hate covering these stories. I'm out.